After an off day to recharge their batteries, the Cubs open up a 6-game National League East homestand tonight. Gorgeous night at Wrigley Field. The Cubs will battle the New York Mets. And great to have you with us. Jim Deshaies, Len Casper with you. And let's meet the Mets. We haven't seen the Mets this season. A game under 500, 3.5 out in the National League East, and just played a very long series in Philly.
Yeah, 2 14-inning games, an 11-inning game. They took 4 out of 5 from Philly. They've won 7 of their last 8. In 6 of their last 7, they've outscored their opponents by 20 runs. The starting pitching has been outstanding for the Mets over the last 10 days or so. Who are they offensively? Well, they walk a lot, most in the National League. They strike out a lot at most in the National League, and they don't hit a lot of home runs. Not really exciting baseball, but lately it's been winning baseball for the Mets.
And the Cubs today had to put their starting catcher, Wellington Castillo, on the disabled list. John Baker's going to get a lot of playing time here coming up.
Yeah, and tonight he'll be behind the plate for Jake Arrieta, who's been pitching quite well lately on the last road trip. Really good in San Diego. The number's not so good last time out in San Francisco, but I thought he threw the ball really well. And we'll take a look at young Met right-hander Zach Wheeler tonight, a kid with a plus arm with some control issues.
All right, the Cubs on this homestand honoring the decade of the 1940s here at Wrigley Field. And again, a beautiful night on the north side. We'll have all the action coming up next.
By your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. AT&T U-verse. AT&T U-verse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PIC-ATT. Rethink possible. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
First home game here in the month of June. And it's like a beautiful night. Maybe a slight breeze coming in off the lake. Blue skies above as the Cubs host the Mets. First of 3 consecutive night games. And then the Marlins come in Friday afternoon for the weekend. Meet the Mets, meet the Mets, step right up and greet the Mets. Their Southwest starting lineup, Matt Den Decker is in center. Juan Lagares off to a great start, just went on the disabled list. Daniel Murphy, David Wright, they are hit collectors. You see, they're both in the 290s. It's been a rough start to Curtis Granderson's Mets career. Chris Young has been slumping. Lucas Duda has taken over a lot of the time at first after the trade of Ike Davis. Wilmer Flores coming off the best offensive game of his career last night. Travis d'Arnaud is the catcher, and the pitcher, Zach Wheeler.
He monsters the Cubs defense tonight. Coghlan Lake Shearholes are going to patrol the outfield here at Wrigley. Infield, Valbuena, Castro, Bonifacio, and Anthony Rizzo. Behind the plate, John Baker. He'll be doing more catching now with Wellington going on the DL. Our Lexus pursuing starting pitcher for the Cubs tonight. One Jake Arrieta. He's made 5 starts, 1-1 with a .320 earned run average. More ground balls so far this year for Arrieta than he has featured in the past. He's allowed just the 1 home run in 25 in the 3rd innings, making just his 2nd career appearance against the Mets. He made a start against them while with Baltimore back in June of 2012.
Get the umpires for you. Tim Welke is the crew chief, and he'll work home plate. Todd Titchener, Clint Fagan, and Tim Timmons around the bases.
So it's fastball, 92 to 95 for Jake. He throws a cut fastball as well in the high 80s. Curveball's probably been his best pitch. It's a real out pitch for him. He's using it more frequently. Maybe that's why more ground balls so far this year. He also has a changeup and a slider.
So Den Decker will lead things off. The first pitch is a called strike. Outside corner, 93 from Arrieta. These two teams, former National League East, the old division rivals. All-time series since 1962. Going back to prior to divisional play. The Cubs holding a 4-game advantage. 354 wins, 350 losses.
I expect a lot of patient at bats from these Met hitters tonight. We showed you in the open how they walk more than anybody in the league, more than any team, strike out more than any team. That's the MO, the strikeout part not of it, but the patient approach. That's a real point of emphasis for the Mets.
So Terry Collins, their manager, native of Midland, Michigan, where Dow Chemical was founded in 1897.
Really? I did not know that.
Yes. My grandfather worked for Dow. That's a base hit. Right back through the box, and Den Decker is aboard.
Den Decker. Seems like he would be from Holland.
He's from Florida.
He's from Florida. He's got himself a leadoff single. And this is exactly the approach I was talking about. Patient. Wait till you get a pitch in the zone, something you feel like you can attack. That's the game plan. Of course, that's not just the Mets. That's a lot of teams are trying to do in baseball now. So they got the on-base component going so far, but they're not hitting for much average, and they don't hit for power.
Now Daniel Murphy, who has always had good success in this yard, 357 with 4 homers at Wrigley and 42 at bats. And he takes a strike. Perfect weather, 72 degrees. Breeze out of the east at 8.
My goodness, isn't it perfect night for ball?
Somebody was asking me about perfect weather, temperature. This was an hour ago. I said 72 degrees. If it could be that every day, I'm good.
Yeah.
We'll get some rain overnight. Just underway. Matt Den Decker with a leadoff hit, and Murphy lines out to Valbuena. What a play! Luis Valbuena lays out and takes away probably a double from Murphy.
I thought it was by him. I was looking for the ball in the left field corner. What a tremendous play for Valbuena and a nice break for Arrieta. That's at least second and third, nobody out.
Valbuena back in the lineup after battling some abdominal soreness, and comes up with a huge defensive play right off the bat. Now David Wright, who's leading the National League in hits with 72. Mets score on the road. They don't score much at home. And David Wright slugging .403. That's about 100 points off his career mark. There goes Den Decker. And Baker's throw is not in time. That's a stolen base. His first.
He got to the bag prior to the tag. Mets third in the league in stolen bases. That's their 43rd. They've been caught 17 times. 71% success rate, just a little bit below league average. Big chunk of those stolen bases. Oh, Eric Young Jr. He's 17 out of 18. Currently banged up.
Whoop. Gets by Baker. And we should point out, John Baker is going to get a lot of the starts now with Castillo on the disabled list. Eli Whiteside will get some spot starts, especially against lefties. Baker basically had been the personal catcher for Jason Hamill. He caught Edwin Jackson last week, and will probably catch everybody in the rotation here at some point. 2-0 on Wright. There it is. It missed 3 balls, no strikes.
Did not want to give in to David Wright there. 2 balls, no strikes. You have to be careful, though, to not fall into a trap of being too defensive early in the ball game. Right tardy on a 3-0 fastball.
Anderson on deck, the Chicago native. And the pitch, ball 4. And here comes Granderson.
At the plate, right fielder, number 3, Curtis Granderson.
So Granderson back in his hometown. His numbers have gone down pretty consistently the last several years. He had a big year in 2011 with the Yanks. He had 43 homers in 2012, but had a low batting average. Last year was kind of a lost season in his final year with the Yankees. 2 DL stints. And he got a 4-year, $60 million free agent contract to go across town. And he's still trying to get it going. And he and Arrieta matched up a lot in the American League East. Yankees and Orioles. Now Mets and Cubs in the National League.
Well, those home run numbers have to go down. You make the move across town in New York from Yankee Stadium, which is such a home run friendly ballpark, especially for left-handed hitters, primarily for left-handed hitters, to Citi Field, where it's tough for anybody to hit the long ball.
Now the dimensions, there have been a lot made about Citi Field, and they had actually moved the fences in, but you talk to people who've watched this team all year, they say that they're stressed out at home. We know Mets fans, they don't wait around to boo, and I don't know if that has anything to do with the fact they're scoring more on the road or not, if they're just too tight playing at home. But that doesn't really make sense, man. You're going to play 81 of your games in one place. You'd like to think that's where you're comfortable.
Yeah, you'd like to think those numbers are going to even out a little bit. They're one of only 4 teams in the league with a winning road record, and hitting close to league average on the road, but 5-point runs per game, that's the best mark in the National League, second best in the major leagues.
Spot here for Arrieta, first and third, only 1 out. The 2-1 is low. It's 3-1. Well, we can debate the merits of Philly fans versus Met fans on this next road trip, but not an easy place to play, especially if you struggle. The kick and the pitch and a line shot to center. It's going to be caught by Lake. Then Decker will score. That's a sacrifice fly on a scorching lineout by Curtis Granderson, and it's 1-0 Mets.
That's getting some pretty good wax here in the first inning. This ball sharply hit. You see the throw sailing up the line. At least Jr. able to keep this ball low enough, or forced Wright to read that throw coming back in, and he was not able to move into scoring position himself.
Veteran Chris Young hitting just .202 and under $150 his last 25 games. Wright's at first, a run in, 2 outs. Fly ball to left. Chris Coghlan will make the catch, and the inning is over. The Mets get 1. The Cubs are coming up when we return. Depot will donate $100 to JDRF. And now the Chicago Cubs Southwest starting lineup. They have been shut out 3 times in their last 5 games, including Sunday in Milwaukee. What a game for Kyle Loesch of the Brewers. Bonifacio late, and Rizzo, who has been hot, although he got kicked out of that game on Sunday for arguing balls and strikes. Castro, Valbuena, and Scherholtz in the middle. Coghlan, Baker, and Arrieta will round it out.
Take a look at the Mets defensively, brought to you by Kia. The veteran Young in left, the rookie Den Decker in center, Curtis Granderson in right. David Wright's won a couple of Gold Gloves, 2007 and 8. He did that. Wilmer Flores is playing shortstop. Ruben Tejada's on the DL. Daniel Murphy at second base has some issues defensively. Lucas Duda's there at first, and Travis d'Arnaud behind the plate for our Lexus starting pitcher, Zach Wheeler. 24-year-old right-hander, former first-round pick. Good stuff.
He is ready to work. Zachary Harrison Wheeler, 6'4", 185.
2 and 5, 431. There's a lot of ground balls.
Right on cue, Murphy will get Bonifacio. Georgia native Zach Wheeler.
Giants took him in the first round of the 2009 draft, the 6th overall pick, and then dealt him to the Mets in July of 2011 for Carlos Beltran. One of those classic win now moves by the Giants. The Mets looking to the future, able to acquire a young, high ceiling right-hander.
Outer third for a strike on Junior Lake. 3 for his last 30. Wheeler not taking much time between pitches, a little bit below the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. First time he's ever faced the Cubs, and therefore his Wrigley Field debut. Bouncer right back to Wheeler. He made his big league debut just about a year ago. 2 quick outs. Boy, I'll tell you, Kyle Loesch on Sunday, 93 pitches. The Cubs had 3 hits. And as rough an outing as Jeff Samardzija had, JD, even if he had been Jeff Samardzija and given up 1 or maybe 2, it might not have mattered.
Yeah, you know, and clearly I think the big lead took some of the steam out of the Cub at bats in that game. But yeah, Kyle Loesch was really, really good.
Rizzo only saw part of that game. He got kicked out after getting into it with Jerry Meals. He's in his second at bat of the ball game in the 4th inning. He was more upset about the previous pitch, and that one kind of set him off. I think he was upset about some calls he felt Samardzija didn't get. And he said the magic word about probably 2 words into that conversation. The word after that's. And then the 2 words after that I can't repeat.
That's not good, Jerry.
One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Mets lead 1-0. And the pitch called strike 3. That comebacker caught the inside corner. Impressive stuff from Wheeler in the 1st inning.
You know, when Rick Renteria took this job as manager here with the Cubs, he was asked numerous times if he knew what he was getting into with this organization. Today, a third of the way through, he said he's been able to take some big positives out of this season, just a third of the way through, especially when it comes to Starlin Castro and Anthony Rizzo. Here's what else he had to say.
I know that the city wants a winner. I know that the community would like to have their club have more success than we've had. But I still keep my eye. I'm kind of putting blinders on, and I'm trying to stay focused on the things that I think we are improving on. I think our shortstop has done better. I think our first baseman has come along. I think our pitching has obviously done a very nice job. I think some of the guys that we've had, some of the younger guys have shown some of the things that they have. Bolte's shown that he's got some pop.
Ricky, a very positive guy, as all of us, of course, have learned, guys, but certainly something that has continued throughout the season, regardless of the ups and downs. He still finds ways to be positive and help these guys out in terms of learning as young players.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah, well, that's what it's all about right now for the Cubs. It's about developing and discovering the pieces you're going to move forward with.
Lucas Duda with a leadoff single. Now has a 7-game hitting streak. And here's Wilmer Flores, who had the game of his life last night in Philadelphia. Grand slam, a double, and a career high 6 knocked in. got all of it. That game did not go to extra innings. The previous 3 did. And in 5 games, the Mets and the Phillies played 57 innings, took 20 hours and 36 minutes. Since 1912, according to Elias, there has been one 5-game series that has lasted more than 57 innings. Yankees and Tigers played 58 innings, 1962. Obviously, there aren't a lot of 5-game series anymore. We'll play one in Cincinnati coming up. Strike called. It's 1-2.
Yeah, and in so doing, they set the record for most cheesesteaks ingested in the visiting clubhouse in Philadelphia.
Stomach hurts just thinking about it. There's a bouncer toward right, and it's going to sneak past Bonifacio. Boy, it sure looked like Flores was guiding the ball that way. A little easier to do, I guess, with 2 strikes. And they have 2 on with nobody out.
Yeah, if you didn't know better, you would think it was a hit and run play with his approach. Just a defensive swing on a fastball that beat him, and he gets lucky. Cubs are playing for 2, so Bonifacio's pinching a little bit towards second base, and that creates a little more room to squirt that one through. The contact for the Mets much better in the first inning. They're still looking to make some noise here after back-to-back singles in the second.
And a former Cub is the Mets first base coach, Tom Goodwin. Finished his career as a Cub in 03 and 04. He stole 369 bases over 14 years in the big leagues. A strike on Travis d'Arnaud. I love that small D on the back of the jersey. d'Arnaud and Den Decker both have it. He recently spent a couple of weeks on the concussion list. Got hit on a backswing by Alfonso Soriano. He had been using the hockey style mask. Went back to the old school variety. Here's the 1-1 from Arrieta, and it's popped foul out of play.
d'Arnaud has not done much yet, excuse me, with the bat in the big leagues. Minor league numbers good both ways. A real good hitter, sterling reputation defensively. Saw it with Wellington Castillo here, and you see it with a lot of young catchers. Sometimes it takes a while for the bat to catch up at the big league level. So much responsibility for a young catcher when he first comes to the big leagues.
Came over from the Blue Jays in the R.A. Dickey deal prior to 2013. As Rizzo makes a catch, that's the first out. And a big first out, because now Arrieta will deal with the pitcher and then back to the top. Wheeler, left-handed batter. Will likely try to lay down a bunt to advance the runners. Yeah, how about this? Travis d'Arnaud has already been traded for Roy Halladay and R.A. Dickey. Someone should do some research and find out who's been traded for the most pitcher wins in baseball history. There's got to be somebody out there who's been traded for like 3 Hall of Fame pitchers. Maybe in the same deal. Who knows?
There you go. That's, I think research should get cracking on that.
Baker setting up toward the outside. There's the bunt. Well executed. That will go 5-4 on the sacrifice.
Good job here by Wheeler. See the flex in the knees. I mean, that's really important. Get into a good athletic position.
Well, I'll tell you, Den Decker should have played in the 70s before the flap.
Why is that?
Because his hair, it's got that good hair working on the right there, but on the left, the ear flap kind of ruins
diminishes
the look.
The hair. Yeah. Is his middle name Den, or is his last name Den Decker?
I think that's his last name. Swing and a miss. Now the ear flap may save his life, but
tell him all about looking good. This is the big leagues, man. Here's the pitch, 1-1. This is the critical pitch.
And it's a strike on a slider.
Take a look at the batting averages. From this point forward, going 1-2 versus 2-1, it's a significant difference. They're not really focusing on that.
Arrieta to the plate, and a bouncer to Valbuena in front of the runner. He fields it and throws to end the inning. Back-to-back hits to start the frame, but Arrieta and his defense get out of it. Still 1-0 Mets.
The 1940s, the planned festivities include music, food, and giveaways. You don't need to go any further. Music, food, and giveaways doesn't get any better than that. And for more information about the year-long celebration, visit WrigleyField100.com. Tickets are available for every game this week, so visit Cubs.com to purchase your seats today. So music, food, festivities, all meant to reflect the 1940s.
Looking forward to those 42 uniforms coming up on Sunday.
Got some All-American girl bobbleheads coming out.
Yeah. And as we get going here in the Cubs second, we want to send out congratulations to Hannah Hellman, who graduates from Lakeview High School tomorrow. She is off to the University of Dayton to study communications, and her dad Tom wanted to send out congrats.
Very special time. Congratulations.
We know Tom is Otis, the Cubs' fine clubhouse manager. I guess Hannah knows Hannah's dad, not really Tom or Otis.
Papa Otis. Well, Wheeler has two of the components of a great fastball. He's got plus velocity, one of the hardest throwers in the league, and really good movement on his two-seamer. Now, if he can master the command part of it, he's going to be a top of the rotation pitcher, and if he stays healthy for a long time. And it's interesting when you look at these two organizations, the Cubs with all the position players they have in their pipeline coming up through, and the Mets that have really been pitching focused with Harvey, this kid, Syndergaard down in the minor leagues. They've got some really high ceiling starting pitchers.
Harvey not expected to return this year after October Tommy John surgery. Also closer Bobby Parnell, after he pitched on opening day. Swing and a miss for strike 3. He had Tommy John in April.
The cut fastball at 91 miles an hour. Wheeler, you know, as we mentioned, he's been a good ground ball pitcher this year, but he's averaging almost a strikeout per inning pitched as well. So those two things combined really set up well. You get a lot of ground balls, a lot of punch outs.
Swings through a pretty good fastball from Wheeler with that late movement.
Striking out 23% of the batters he has faced. That's better than league average, which is just under 20%, but he's walked 10%, which is among the higher walk rates amongst qualifying starting pitchers. Boy, ball really jumps out of his hand, though. Lively. Reminds me a little bit of Zach Greinke out there.
Just missed. I love your use of the word amongst. You added the ST.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a mid or a midst. I assume they're interchangeable.
Think so.
I don't know if necessarily one word is better used in certain situations, but I love the extra.
I might have used among
consonants
earlier, and I didn't want to double up on
there
among. That's the key.
Well, you know, we've got some language experts out there, so send us a tweet if you know the difference.
Field day with me.
3-2 on Valbuena, and he bounces foul past Eric Hinsky at first. Well, we're nearing the point where a lot of kids are getting out of school. So summer is starting here in Chicago. The 3-2 pitch. Valbuena with a good at bat here. He's starting to time Wheeler a little bit.
Think back to the first inning. He finished off Anthony Rizzo with a two-seam fastball that he started in and ran back to the inside corner. Going to try a slider. Darno initially called fastball, then changeup. Wheeler shook both those pitches off. Valbuena does not chase many pitches out of the zone.
Was the first non-fastball of the at-bat.
Two-seamer. Trying to run one down and away. It's probably the safest spot for him to go right now. I don't think he has a lot of confidence in his changeup. He just hasn't thrown that many of them. Probably doesn't have the feel for it.
Ninth pitch of the at-bat, and Valbuena fouled that one off his front foot. He's got some protection down there in the shin/ankle area, but looked like the ball missed the padding. Let's see. Oh, top of the foot.
Yeah. You can't pad everything because you have to be able to run.
High in the air, deep to right. Granderson on the warning track is going to have room. He kind of looked behind him to see how much room he had. He actually came in a couple of steps to make the catch. He just missed it.
Yeah, wind blowing in a little bit off the lake this evening. Another day, a little bit later in the summer. This is probably a home run. Wrigley Field so far this year has played very pitcher friendly. At the end of the season, I suspect those numbers will turn around some.
There's Nate Scherholtz. 2 homers last week, first 2 of the season. That bat he is wielding is a Miguel Tejada model. Said when he was a Giant, along with Tejada used to borrow everybody's bats. Let me swing your bat. Let me swing. He said, let me swing yours, and he liked it.
When Tejada was in Houston, he used a very heavy bat. Nate's swinging these days.
Hitters count here with 2 outs.
Change up at 89. Is that possible?
Yeah, it's possible. Fly ball to right is out of play.
Another one there at 87. His changeup so far this year, according to Fangraphs, is averaging 85 miles an hour.
Well, the slider's got some funky movement. That's in the upper 80s on average.
You throw as hard as he does with such good movement, you don't have to have a big separation between your fastball and changeup. Just a little bit to catch a hitter out in front. Get him out on that front foot, pop him up, and do some weak contact. That's the strategy.
He has given him every sign except for that one, the curveball. And it's ripped foul. Fun to watch catchers give signs, because in that sequence, Darno went fastball, sinker, slider, changeup. He kept shaking him off. Then he started over. He started with fastball, slider. So I mean,
he kind of like
he wants him to throw his fastball. And a base hit the other way. So the Cubs have a runner, the first hit of the night.
Good hitting here by Scherholtz on a 2-seam fastball moving away. Stays right with it. Gets himself a 2-out knock. That's a safe pitch to call if you're Darno. That's a pitch the guy's not going to do a whole lot with. 2 outs, nobody on. You're pitching away from power. You don't want him to hit one over the wall or into the alley.
Outside on Coughlin, 1-1.
Yeah, ideally, most clubs, when you have a young guy like Wheeler on the mound, you like to have a veteran behind the plate. Just not the makeup of this Mets roster right now.
Wheeler's from Dallas, Georgia. in Paulding County. Population 11,500.
The Gatorade Georgia High School Player of the Year in both 2008 and 2009.
Miles out of Atlanta. David Wright gets over to the barrier, makes the catch, and the inning comes to an end. It's 1-0 New York at the end of 2. Field at 7:05. The first 10,000 in attendance get a Cubs cooler bag presented by Kraft Foods. Tickets for tomorrow night are still available and can be purchased at Cubs.com. That looks like a group. It'd be a strange coincidence if it were just random fans wearing the same color green shirt. Murphy lined out to third on a terrific defensive diving play by Luis Valbuena in the first inning.
Now Murphy, good solid ball player. He does not have a lot of range at second base. He's made 7 errors, but line drive hitter. Always hit for a high average.
Slider strike. The harder sliders you'll see in baseball at 188, 89 miles an hour. And Jake Arrieta. It's like they're going upstairs with a fastball and Murphy wouldn't bite. Fouled out of play. Well, we talked about the Mets. They are scoring runs on the road. They've won 6 of their last 7. They have a new hitting coach, Lamar Johnson. He was their longtime minor league hitting coordinator. He replaced Dave Hudgens, who was fired last week. Knocked down, and Castro does not have a play on Murphy.
Not fielded cleanly. If he gets it clean, he's got a shot at him. It's not going to be an easy play by any means. Up into the heel of his glove.
There's Lamar Johnson. There may be a White Sox fan or a Chicago baseball fan out there who remembers Lamar Johnson singing the national anthem before a game when he played for the White Sox. It would have been a long time ago.
How do you do?
I did not see the film or the videotape, but I imagine it was nicely done.
Like Dwight Smith here for the Cubs.
Yeah. So the Mets now with a leadoff man singling off Arrieta in each of the first 3 innings. 1-1 to right.
Right, with good power to all fields. The power diminished obviously at Citi Field. His home run numbers have been off the last couple of seasons. Tough because he hits the ball away really well, but he's pretty quick too. Middle in is no bargain against David Wright.
Well, he's always had a great makeup. He's the 4th team captain in Mets history. Got an 8-year extension prior to last year, so pretty decent chance he'll retire as a Met. First round pick back in 01. And while he hasn't had the team success Derek Jeter has had, I'd say he's handled his time in the Big Apple similarly. 7-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glover.
Challenge or not to challenge now for Arrieta on 3-2.
See if Murphy will be on the move here. He is not running, and Wright just took his second walk.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Wright. He's a patient guy, so if you feel like you're going to be able to get him to chase in that situation, not likely. Maybe in an RBI situation he might be willing to expand. The last thing he wants to do is hit a ground ball on a pitch out of the zone and clean up the inning with a double play ball. So he kind of sniffed out the approach by Arrieta there, able to take his walk and just keep the line moving.
Granderson gave the Mets the lead with a sac fly in the first inning. He bats with 2 on and nobody out here in the 3rd. A swing and a miss, strike 1. Granderson went to Thornton Fractional South High School, member of the University of Illinois Chicago Athletics Hall of Fame. And Arrieta's 0-1 is a strike. 0-2.
Now he's got options. Got to be thinking punch out here. Option 1 didn't get him to bite. High fastball, not a bad idea. Now he can either go back up there or try that breaking ball. Threw that the strike 2 curveball, just kind of a roller at 80 miles an hour. That's the get over curveball. The swing and miss curveball, more of a power pitch. That one. Granderson strikes out a lot, but he also walks a lot. That's what Baker and Arrieta have to kind of contemplate here. Sooner or later, you might have to throw one in the strike zone.
2 strikes now, 3 straight balls. And it's a full count.
I think the most important thing to know as a pitcher, and I guess to a great degree a catcher, is who walks and who doesn't walk. How likely are they to chase? And certainly when he got 0-2, it made sense to go out of the zone at least once to see if he would chase. But because he does walk a fair bit, you know, once you're 1-2, you're probably better off being a little more aggressive.
Runners are not going. That pitch was a little bit of a hanger on his slider. Granderson with a 2-strike approach, able to fight it off. Well, there's a lot of stuff out there on the mound tonight. Arrieta and Wheeler. Wheeler has been able to command his a little better here early. Another 3-2, and that ball driven out in the right center. It's going to drop down. Murphy had to make sure, so he can only advance to third. Tim Tuffle with his arms up. And they're loaded with nobody out.
Yeah, I think Jake in trouble here just primarily because of a little bit of a defensive approach. First with Wright, walked him, and then Granderson, after getting the jump on him, let him back into the count. Maybe not trusting his stuff enough. It's, you know, it's one thing for a soft tosser whose velocity is, you know, league average or touch below to nibble, but with Arrieta's stuff, I think Chris Bosio, and maybe this is part of the message that's being delivered here, is to be, you know, be a little more aggressive when you get the jump on the hitter. Go ahead, and you got a hitter in a pitcher's count, far less likely to make solid contact. So make your pitch at 1-2, certainly 2-2, as opposed to running that count full.
So the Cubs will play their middle infielders in double play depth. Actually, everybody back. Again, just a couple of steps to try to turn 2 here. Limit the damage a little bit as Young swings away and fouls. Much of an average, but 2 career grand slams for Young. Ground ball rolled foul. Well, it's the 3rd inning and it's only 1-0, but this certainly feels like a pretty big spot for the Cubs starter tonight.
Yeah, if you could get out of this allowing just 1 run, you'd take that trade. Good try. Trying to shave the edge off that outside corner with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
A 1-2. Rizzo will fire to the plate. They get 1. He had some options there and decided to get the lead man, so they're still loaded with 1 out.
Initially was thinking about turning 2, took a look at second base, and then decided to throw home.
I think he did the right thing. I think he realized with Young running that it was going to be a tough turn.
Yeah, I agree.
Three on for Lucas Duda. He hit a game-winning home run in the 11th inning on Sunday in Philadelphia. A 2-run shot.
3-6-1 or 3-6-3 double play. Difficult to convert when you got a guy like Young going down the line, and Anthony would have had a long way to run back to the bag after making the throw to second base.
One-0 pitch fouled off. Now this is the type of approach the Mets like from Duda, and that is that left center field approach. You see, he hit it over 400 feet for a home run. Certainly that type of swing will play in this ballpark, especially with the wind direction tonight. Strike called. It's 1-2. Jam shot pop up. Castro will make the catch. 2 outs, so now all of a sudden Arrieta thinking about getting out of it completely.
He's going to renege on that trade. Never mind the 1 run. He's trying to post a 0 here. 1-2 fastball. And this is what I'm talking about when you have the jump on the hitter. They're in a little bit of a defensive posture. Good time to attack. Hitter in protect mode's telling himself, hey, stay back, don't get fooled. They tend to be a little late on the fastball.
Still not out of it yet. Flores had that big night last night. It's already 1 for 1 as he guided one to right. Flores was originally a shortstop, but a couple of years ago they moved him to third base. Now he's back at short. And Arrieta caught it. That's probably a 2-run single with 2 outs, but Jake Arrieta put his glove right where the ball was headed, and he gets out of it with no damage done. And it's still 1-0.
Who had the sac fly there in the first inning. And he's got his own cheering block here tonight. Of course, a UIC alum, and attributes much of his success to that program and shows his appreciation earlier this year by donating $5 million to the school, which, according to Sports Illustrated, is the largest known one-time donation from a pro athlete to their alma mater. And with that donation, the Flames able to build a brand new $10 million baseball facility named, of course, Granderson Stadium. Curtis able to attend the ribbon-cutting ceremony in April, which we're seeing a few of the pictures of here, but a very generous donation, and a guy who says he's always enjoys his time back here in Chicago, gentlemen. But that's really cool, and of course, always cool to have your own cheering block there, right?
Especially, on the road, although this is where he's from, and don't know Curtis Granderson well, but everybody you talk to who does know him, they said he's a 10, an A+.
In hockey parlance, he's good in the room.
Right. Well, let's see if the Cubs now can jump on Wheeler after Arrieta found a way out of the bases loaded no out jam.
Tonight's pitching matchup, Zach Wheeler versus Harry Houdini. Arrieta been in trouble all night, but he's allowed just the 1 run.
Breaking ball from Wheeler as Baker fouls it off. His backup is Eli Whiteside. Got a good look at the veteran right-handed hitting Whiteside in spring training. He's here to replace the injured Wellington Castillo. Hector Rondon off the paternity list. Jose Veras designated for assignment today. It backs up right. And he throws in plenty of time. So here comes Arrieta for his first plate appearance in time for our Xfinity high speed action. Quick reflexes.
Yep, and we're all again from hockey. Glove save and a beauty by Arrieta, saving himself a couple of runs.
2 for 8 on the year with the bat. So I saw an AP note yesterday on the off day that I found interesting. I have not collected, purchased, really had any baseball cards in a long time. But did you know that Topps now has wins above replacement on the back?
I did not know that.
And they added it last year. They've been
very progressive.
Yep, producing cards since 1951, and we often talk about the numbers on the back of a baseball card, but they're now starting to blend in some of the more advanced statistics.
They get rid of that bad gum. Is that still in there too?
I would hope it's sugarless. I ate a lot of that stuff.
Yes, I'd be disappointed to open a pack of cards and not find that bad gum. Very nostalgic.
I could thank Topps for a lot of fillings as a kid, I think. Third strikeout for Wheeler as he'll face Bonifacio with 2 outs, nobody on. The consensus, by the way, got a tweet from a teacher who's now on vacation for the summer. My mom sent me an email that among and amongst mean the same thing, so they're interchangeable.
A lot of hard contact from the Mets hitters so far tonight. Not so much for the Cubs. Just 1 base hit. Opposite field single by Shearholtz.
Got a tweet from Bion Thompson. Have you ever seen an intentional walk with the bases loaded to limit the damage because of who was at the plate? Yeah. I mean,
Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds was walked by Buck Showalter, who had a late lead. He walked in a run. And Brent Maine came up and I think lined out to right to end the game.
Sinking line drive.
A bold but certainly defensible move. Bonds probably would have walked anyway.
Good point.
There's a 2-0. It's a strike.
Yeah, I think now in today's game, in the non-steroid theoretically era, and no Bonds doing what he did back then, I don't know that move would be defensible, regardless of who the hitter is. Even Miguel Cabrera.
I guess if let's say the Tigers are playing in a National League park, and they literally had no position players behind him, and the pitcher spot ended up there.
Yeah,
you might do it, knowing that you have to face a pitcher versus Miguel Cabrera, but that's about it. Bonifacio with a 2-out walk.
I believe in the case of the Showalter Bonds game we're talking about, I think it was like a 3-run lead, right? Maybe a 7-4 ball game or something like that.
Sounds right.
One steal, one successful steal, one caught stealing with Wheeler on the mound this year. Darno, the catcher, has thrown out 18%.
It was a 1-run game.
It was a 1-run game.
The team was ahead 8-6.
Wow.
1998. May 28th of that
So
year.
He made it an 8-7 game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Brent Main said, I've never seen anything like it, maybe in Little League if a guy's hitting 900. What do you think Greg Olson felt about it? The guy who had to basically give up a run, right? It would have been a run I think he was charged with. Skip, you're telling me to walk in a run.
Buck would have said, yeah, but I'm saving you 3. So I mentioned earlier about the critical nature of the 1-1 offering. Here are the numbers. After 1 balls and 2 strikes, major league hitters bat 175. After 2 and 1, they hit 246.
There goes Bonifacio. Lake drives one out in the right. Bonifacio will just keep on going with 2 outs as Granderson makes the catch and throws the ball up into his fan club. It is 1-0 New York after 3.
Jersey off our back night here at Wrigley Field. Cubs Mets play at 6:05. Autographed game worn jerseys will be awarded to lucky fans in random seats after the ball game. That's compliments of Majestic, the official on-field uniform of Major League Baseball.
Mets have had 5 more batters in the same amount of innings. Arrieta has had to work around a lot more trouble. The Mets have also stranded 6 through 3.
Their frustration quotient is much higher.
Darno, Wheeler, and Dendecker. 2-1. So what? It goes from what? 1-2 to 2-1 goes from 170 something to 240 something.
After 1 and 2, hitters bat 175 with a 225 on base percentage and a 260 slugging average.
Base hit. Well,
so
you got it to 2-1.
So basically, after 1-2, major league hitters become like pitchers for the most part with a bat in their hands. After 2-1, they bat 246 with a 383 on base percentage. That's the one that really gets your attention. That 383 on base and 396 slugging average. That's why a lot of pitching coaches, a lot of organizations preach 2 strikes, first 3 pitches.
Wheeler has already laid down 1 sacrifice, make it 2. He's done a really nice job in that regard. And the Mets, who've had leadoff hits in every inning, are threatening yet again.
Yeah, well, their left on base has matched the inning so far. They left 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, and you can't leave 4. So that trend will not continue. But Wheeler up there to bunt, he got that first pitch strike and he put it down. So many times you see a guy up there in a sacrifice situation take that first pitch strike.
Hearing you say that, I've also heard people say you can't steal first base, and yet we saw it happen last year. So I generally agree with you that you shouldn't be able to leave 4 men on base.
But you never know.
But in this game, we see some funky stuff. The 0-1 pitch. Now 0-2.
Now, one of the keys for Jake Arrieta in all of his starts is finding the feel for his curveball. If he has it early, typically he has a good night. He struggles with it, not so much. But he's wiggled out of some jams here tonight. So, regardless of how things have gone to this point, he's still in real good shape to pitch a fine game because he's only allowed the 1 run. No points for artistic merit in this league. You just try to keep the other team off the scoreboard.
Foul tip, strike 3. That was first one tonight.
It is indeed.
Wow. First strikeout coming here in the 4th inning.
Power late breaking slider, diving down and in. It's going to change lanes right about there.
Strike called on Murphy, who's lined out and singled.
Didn't Murphy have a 2 home run game here last year?
Sounds right.
Or something. Maybe it was over at their place. I know he had a big home run.
Yes, I think it was here.
Hit the ball hard twice tonight, lined out to third, infield single to short.
Taps foul. Well, in 2012, he hit 2 on June 27th off Jeff Samardzija and Casey Coleman. And he hit 2 in the same series last year. One was a tie-breaking homer late off Kyuji Fujikawa, which might be the one you're thinking of.
Has to be. What's Kyuji doing these days?
Still
in Arizona,
rehabbing from Tommy John surgery. One and 2 with 2 outs and a man at second. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. David Wright would bat next. Here it comes. We'll try it again. Former Cub closer Kevin Gregg is hooked on with one of his other former teams, the Miami Marlins. Minor league deal. Lake coming on, and he'll grab it, and the inning is over. So Arrieta once again works around a leadoff single. It's still 1-0 Mets. Sanders, currently serving in the Illinois Army National Guard as the logistics coordinator for Illinois CERFP. He served in Springfield and Quincy, was deployed to Afghanistan in 2012. He returned, I should say, in November of 2012, and got a great hand here. And it's time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag NorthsideFanPhoto for a chance to have it appear later on in our broadcast, brought to you by AT&T. Maybe they will send it in.
Bill Rafter. Send it in, Jerome.
I was thinking the same thing after I said it. Got a nice note from Lynn Bramer, our good friend from XRT. Wanted to know how the pitch count stats affect statistical freaks like Ted Williams. Lynn, I don't think I have count breakdowns for Teddy Ballgame on Baseball Reference. They've got his batting average at different spots in the lineup and number of outs in the inning and what have you. But how about this? Here's what I do have for you. Runners in scoring position, 331. Nobody on base, 332. Man at first, 357. Man at second, 323. Man at third, 355. First and second, 326. First and third, 362. In every base runner situation, Ted Williams hit over 300. That's drilled foul.
Well, here's a great example of the count, the 2-1 swing that Rizzo had right there. He's out in front of it, but you don't get that defensive swing when you're ahead in the count. Yeah, Teddy Ballgame, it didn't matter. Day, night,
clutch
left,
stats. 2 outs, runners in scoring position, late and close tie game within 1 run, all over 300. Rizzo late that time on a heater.
Like he thought, well, you know, in the back of his mind, he was remembering the fastball that he got beat on for called strike 3 last time up. That was a great pitch by the Mets. Good call, good execution. See that front hip? He's looking for that fastball in that he took for strike 3 last time. He was not going to get beat by that pitch again. He made up his mind, but he became vulnerable to the outside fastball.
Pitch to Castro, low and outside.
So let's see if we can help Lynn out a little bit. Let's take Miguel Cabrera, maybe.
Okay.
Just, since we can't use Ted Williams, we'll look for a really good hitter in the modern game. Miguel Cabrera, when he falls behind in the count 1-2, is a 229 hitter with a 255 on base. So that from that point forward in the at bat, that's what he does. After 2 balls, 1 strike, he's a 310 hitter with a 408 on base, a 452 slugging.
What do you have a first pitch?
He hits 429 on the when he puts the first pitch in play. Yeah. And most, that's typically a very high batting average around the league. First pitch put in play. And that's the challenge for the pitcher, to be able to throw strike 1, but to do it in such a way to minimize the contact. If you can hit a corner, or we talk so much about the get over curveball, just flip up that slow curveball in the zone when a guy's, most hitters go up there ready to hit the fastball.
Full count on Castro. Valbuena on deck. Cubs shut out on Sunday, still looking for their first run tonight. And a fly ball to right will be gobbled up by Granderson for the out.
Yeah, this game, taking on the field so many of the Cub games lately, we're not able to do a whole lot against starting pitchers. Lincecum had that no-hitter going through 5 innings. Kyle Loesch, brilliant on Sunday. Just a lot of games lately where the Cubs have been able to do very little in the early innings. The good news is that Arrieta's been able to tiptoe around all this traffic and allow just the 1 run. Cubs' last 6 games have been decided by at least 4 runs apiece. There hasn't been a lot of drama lately.
Oh, 1 on Valbuena. Line to the warning track and right to end a deep at bat his last time up. Now 0-2. James Long tweets us, I wonder if Teddy Baseball would have hit that high of an average with defensive shifts. Well, remember the Ted Williams shift.
He shifted.
So
yeah.
he had to deal with that. Lou Boudreau. CBS Sports article about the Ted Williams shift. July 14th, 1946. Basically the entire Indians team was on the right side of the field, and Ted Williams went 4 for 3 with 3 home runs and 8 RBIs. You want to shift? I'm just going to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Shift into the bleachers. Why don't you? At the end of 4, it's still 1-0 New York. Baseball Reference for hours and days and weeks, and I often do in the middle of the winter. Yeah, that's the Ted Williams page I was looking at.
So these are his various splits, base out situations, and we look at the batting average in all those situations throughout his long career. Draw a nice little semicircle oval kind of thing around there. Check out those on-base plus sluggings. If you're over 1,000 on-base plus slugging, you are among the elite. And, you know, some guys have years where they do it. I mean, he did it pretty much every single year.
Incredible.
2 outs, runners in scoring position.
That's, I mean, it's Little League numbers.
Yeah.
By the way, just to clarify, he went 4 for 5 with 3 homers in the first game of a doubleheader. Then they put the shift on. He went 1 for 2 with a double and 2 walks. He had all 3 outfielders
on the pull side.
On the pull side, yeah.
And you can make a case. When you look at the numbers and you look at his career and the time he lost to the WAR, that, you know, if he had maintained his averages through the time he missed, that he could have passed Babe Ruth and become the all-time home run leader. He would have had to extend his career another year, perhaps. But you know, if he were knocking on the door of Ruth's record, he likely would have done that.
2-1 on right. He has already walked twice tonight. Arrieta really needs to get the first batter. He's had to work from the stretch almost exclusively in this game.
Yeah, so like some of his previous starts, the pitch count gets to be a little bit of an issue. David right atop a pretty impressive list of hitters. Career .301 batting average.
Guy second on that list is about 10 feet away from us in the Mets television booth. Keith Hernandez. Now back. Still 2-2.
He asked me to help him move this weekend, but I just don't feel like I can make that commitment.
Well played. 2-2.
Ooh.
Full.
Gary Cohen alongside the play-by-play man. Keith doing color for the Mets tonight.
They do a great job. They're one of the tandems, and then they add Ron Darling to the mix. I will go out of my way to check them out. Got him on the comebacker for strike 3.
Just the late movement back to the outside corner gets it done for Arrieta. So quality pitch there on 3-2 after walking right twice. He still did not want to throw him a cookie. Painted the outside edge. Very nice. Roll of the eyes from the Met captain, but it was a good pitch.
Comes over shifting to the right on the infield. So Castro is kind of playing the hybrid shortstop third baseman position. In on the grass. One and two.
So there's Castro there. A bit fancy on you. Their second sacker, Bonifacio. Here's Valbuena. Rizzo doesn't get a ball.
Granderson's had a pretty good night. Sac fly and 2 singles.
And normally when you see that shift on for a left-handed pull hitter with power, the shortstop will stay deep, but because Granderson, because of his speed, the threat that he might possibly drop a bunt down, or even if he hits a slow roller, you got to be able to defend that. That's why they had Castro in.
Long pause by Arrieta. Now he fires over to first. Ryan Zimmerman is back from the disabled list and starting tonight in left field for the first time. Third baseman by trade.
Stop living in the past. Oh, sorry.
Zimmerman coming back from a thumb injury.
Well, yeah, he's had physical problems throwing. He's had the shoulder issues, but he's also had he's kind of got the yips over there at third base. A lot of throwing errors the last 2 or 3 years for Zimmerman. But obviously, the guy in the prime of his career, a very dangerous bat. If he can make the transition to left field, it will really help the club. It will help him. They got the kid Rendon there playing third base, who's got some pretty significant upside. And kudos to Zimmerman for, yeah, I'll go down and play a few games on my rehab in left field and see how it goes and take a shot at it.
Runner goes. Granderson got a pretty good jump, fouled back by Young.
Was a shortstop when he first signed. You know, and athletic enough, it should not be a problem at all to make the move to left field.
Well, on the defensive spectrum, yeah, left field, first base. Well, I think first base has maybe some more difficulties than some people think. It's a pretty important position, but normally on the defensive spectrum, you start at one certain position, you normally go in one direction, and certainly from third, you go to left. You normally wouldn't see a guy go from left to third. Then there's Craig Biggio, just did whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
He just kept getting farther from home plate.
Biggio,
and then did he catch it his last game?
I think he did. Yeah,
I
think he did go back behind the plate. There was one year where they used him out in center field. I mean, that's how good an athlete he was. That's something you don't often see a guy who came up as a catcher be able to go out and play center field for you. A close watch on Granderson. Understandable middle innings of a one-run ball game. Very important base runner.
See Arrieta nearing 100 pitches. Granderson runs again, and a fly ball to right. Granderson able to locate it. He'll head back to first as Scherholz puts it away, and that's 2 outs in the inning. But we've seen this type of start from Arrieta in the past. You know, 5 innings, 5 1/3, keeping his team in the ball game, but throwing a lot of pitches.
Final in already. The Marlins beat the Rays 1-0.
Wow, Tampa Bay lost again.
Alvarez beat Archer. 3rd shutout of the year for Alvarez, Henderson Alvarez. A game that took 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Tampa Bay has the worst record in the American League. But they're 8th in a row.
Sounds right.
23 and 36. The 1-0 on the way to Duda as Granderson takes off yet again, and he's in. Cubs have had a big problem throwing out base stealers, mostly on the pitchers this year, you'd have to say. Good throw by Baker, but it's not in time.
You need a pitcher who's able to unload the ball quickly to home plate, and obviously the catcher not only does he need to have a strong throw, but it's the whole package: the quick feet, the quick release, and then the strong, accurate throw.
Baker's now 0 for 13. Wellington Castillo's 4 out of 35. And throwing out base stealers. This will be the 100th pitch for Arrieta, and it's a strike. It's 2-2. Two is yanked foul.
That's 1 out of 10 with runners in scoring position. Again, they've had all the chances. They've had all the shots on goal.
Another 2-2 and another foul.
Gonna have to move on from this hockey thing. Very disappointing here the last couple of days with the Hawks losing, and then follow that up with yesterday. Julia lost on Jeopardy.
She did.
Yeah, local gal. She won like 20 straight times. Very depressing in our household. Those back-to-back whacks.
20 straight wins. That's about a month.
She was like $500,000.
It's full 3-2. Some of the people traveling with the Mets were hoping Blackhawks would have beaten the Kings because they wanted to maybe sneak over to the United Center after our game tomorrow night to see the Rangers and the Blackhawks. So Granderson bottom right with 2 outs, and Duda fouls yet again.
Yeah, that would have been fun, right? The whole New York Chicago thing. We would have got the pizza wars going. Get the mayors firing on each other. Oh well.
Deep breath by Jake, and another 3-2, and he walked him.
We're sending John Baker out to talk to Arrieta to buy a little more time. Brian Schlitter. Now Chris Bosio was halfway up the dugout steps. He's being called back by Ricky Renteria.
Let's see Ray McEntee at the ballpark tonight. He's over from Dublin, Ireland, celebrating his 30th birthday here at Wrigley Field.
That's why Bosio was called back. Renteria decided to make a pitching change, I believe.
Also could be a little pep talk. Say, look, this is it. It's gonna be your last batter. Get him. Get out of this inning. Give me everything you got. Coming out. Oh, he is.
It's always hard to read Ricky, and more the patting on the chest, saying, I'm gonna get you here, but I'm not going to make the move. I'm not going to ask for him until I absolutely have to. Till the umpire comes in and tells me. I'm trying to give him some time out there.
Brian Schlitter coming on when we return. Fifth inning. 2 on with 2 down. He'll face Wilmer Flores as shortstop.
And you get the sense that Brian Schlitter is kind of moving up the ladder a little bit in terms of the manager's confidence in the different guys out there in that bullpen, and the numbers support Renteria's confidence in him. He's been really, really good. Little finger painting. Oh, I'll get that. Oh, man. Just goes from bad to worse. He's a strike thrower, sinker slider. Base hit was weakly hit. His out was a bullet back to the mound that Arrieta caught to end the third and leave the bases loaded.
Candid stab there by the catcher Baker. 1 ball, 1 strike. 105 pitches for Arrieta. 7 hits, 3 walks. Faced 24 batters in under 5 innings. That's a lot of traffic. But only trailing right now 1-0. The kick and the pitch, it's low. And a slider.
Yeah, he was McGruber tonight. Out of trouble. He bent, but he did not break.
I was going to say, what's the difference between MacGyver and McGruber? You're going with the SNL guy instead of the guy he's spoofing. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
McGruber's more fun, yeah. Those things usually didn't end well for McGruber, did they?
No, I was going to say, I think
no.
We'll have to rethink the reference. 2 on, 2 down, and a 2-2 count on the Mets shortstop.
Ooh.
And a swing and a miss as Baker will fire to Rizzo, and Schlitter helps Arrieta get out of the inning. The Mets have stranded runners in every inning. They lead 1-0 in the 5th.
Log on to Cubs in-game live on CSNChicago.com. Brought to you by Comcast Business Class.
Zach Wheeler carrying a 1-0 lead. At the bottom of the fifth.
I imagine most Cub fans aren't going to vote for Zach Wheeler, but he's been the man of the match so far. One scratch single allowed.
He spent a lot more time sitting in the Mets dugout than he has on the mound. Cubs have been shut out 8 times already, tied for the most in the majors. And as I mentioned off the top, 3 out of their last 5 games without a run, including Sunday against the Brewers. With a big outburst on Saturday. The 1-0 to Sherholtz. Now 2 balls, no strikes. Joe Montana, one of our favorite 7th inning stretch guests. Originally sang the stretch back in 1998, so he was one of the originals and has been basically doing it every year since. So we look forward to chatting with Joe before the 7th inning stretch tonight. Sharply hit on the ground past Murphy. Cubs have 2 hits. They've both come from Nate Sherholtz.
Last time it came with 2 outs in the second. Here it's a leadoff knock. See if the Cubs can make a little something happen here.
Because of the pitcher's spot that might come up this inning. James Russell has to get loose in the bullpen in case they need to hit for Slitter.
You'd hit for a guy that's batting 1,000?
Yeah, I probably would. I gotta be honest.
Too, yeah. He got his first big league knock the other day in Milwaukee. Rare at bat.
I think he'd probably be better off if he never hit again.
Yeah, to sit on that.
There goes Sherholtz, and it was a hit and run. Coghlan couldn't make contact, and Sherholtz a dead duck. Now you might be sitting at home saying, Nate, what do you do? That's on the hitter. Hitter's got to make contact on a hit and run play because the runner is in peril there.
Nate breaking it down as he sees no contact. But you know, the one thing, I've talked to some managers that say, the old way that play was taught was, hey, don't get picked off. You don't need to get a good jump here. Putting the burden on the hitter to make contact. With a right-handed pitcher on the mound, I would argue, just behave like you're stealing the base. Just go, get a good aggressive jump, go like you're stealing the base. And that, he didn't have a huge lead, but he got a good jump. And it's right about here when there's no contact, and you realize he's toast. So I'm not sure why he slowed down. I mean, you just go ahead and run through the.
Was he thinking
go away?
Stop and head back? I don't know.
Yeah, that ain't going to happen.
2-2. Wheeler from the first base side of the rubber, and Coghlan able to just get a piece of it. 2 more under the lights to finish up this series. Daisuke Matsuzaka and Edwin Jackson tomorrow night as Coghlan strikes out. 5 now for Wheeler. He's had exactly 1 per inning. Literally 1 in every inning.
Really uses his legs driving towards home plate, and again that fastball just real clean leaving his hand. It doesn't look like he's really going max effort there.
We can ask Nate, tomorrow, but the only other explanation for him slowing down is maybe he thought there was contact. He was
Maybe
trying to locate the ball
yeah.
on that awkward Coghlan swing. Ground ball back to the mound, handled by Wheeler. And the inning is over. There's 2 hits tonight for the home team. Not much in terms of threats. To be on Beer Money, be on the show where we ask the questions and you win the cash. Don't miss your shot to be on Beer Money, presented by Coors Light. Test your sports trivia knowledge. And the party of the century continues all week. We celebrate the 1940s. There's Friday, June 6th, when the Cubs take on the Marlins at 3:05. The first 10,000 fans will receive an All-American Girls Professional Baseball League bobblehead. Number 4 of 10 special Wrigley Field Friday bobblehead giveaways. Tickets are still available, including in the Budweiser bleachers. Go to Cubs.com today. Schlitter stays in as a pitcher spot did not come up. And a strike on the catcher, Darno. On 2 bounces, Rizzo backed up, which can always be a little dangerous, but he wanted to get a truer hop, and he flips to Schlitter in time. Now Wheeler will not be asked to lay down a bunt this time. He did in his first 2 plate appearances. Chris Bryant has hit another home run. You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him. 19 homers on the year in Tennessee beat Birmingham. And the Smokies end an 8-game losing streak. A roller to the shortstop Castro. He'll fire to first, 2 outs. A lot of Cub fans are paying very close attention to Chris Bryant. Every time he does something, which is every night, we get all kinds of tweets. Bryant hit another homer.
The Bryant watch is on.
Dan Decker, a strike at the knees. This will be it for Schlitter. Again, his spot due to lead off the bottom of this 6th inning. He struck out Flores to get out of the 5th. Cubs bullpen with a sub-2 ERA over the last 18 games.
Both these bullpens have been performing well of late.
Three and one. The Mets have had 5 base runners in 3 different innings, 6 in the 3rd. And a catch by Castro as they go 1, 2, 3 for the first time. Nice leaping grab by Castro. Both guys over there on the left side have made terrific defensive plays tonight, and it's still 1-0. For Schlitter.
Now, this is about as one-sided a one-run ball game as you can find with the way Wheeler has shut down the Cub hitters, and then what the Met hitters have done in terms of all the traffic and at least 3 or 4 rockets for outs.
He works to the pinch hitter Barney, way inside, ball 1. 1-1. Be followed by Bonifacio and Lake. The Cubs have had more than 3 batters in an inning once. That was the second when 4 men came to the plate. Then the minimum every other inning. They said the Mets have had a lot more opportunities. There you have it. Yeah, that left on base stat, would I call it irrelevant? It can be very misleading.
Yeah.
I mean, you could score 12 runs in a ball game and leave 13 guys on base. Usually means you've got a lot of opportunities. Tonight, it has meant the Mets have not converted it on a lot of chances. I guess I'd rather have more left on base in the big picture than
sure.
fewer,
And
yeah.
you know, a lot of times we'll throw that number out there. Hey, they're just 2 out of 10 with runners in scoring position. Well, if they're 3 out of 10 with runners in scoring position, they're batting .300, which is really good.
Or you could be 3 out of 15 and win the game 6-2.
Yeah. You know, and what managers and hitting coaches, they just want to see a good approach in those situations. They want to see a mature approach by their hitters in big situations. They give you the same quality at bat under pressure that they would in a low leverage situation. You know, the psychology in the 2 dugouts tonight would be interesting too, because the Cubs have to be feeling pretty good about the way things have gone with all the base runners they've allowed to be just down 1. Now they got to figure out a way to get to Wheeler here. I'm sure Terry Collins and his guys are over in the Met dugout scratching their heads going, man, I can't believe we don't have 5 runs by now.
Every Sunday is Kids Retro Toy Sunday here at Wrigley Field. This Sunday at 1:20, the Cubs host the Marlins. The first 5,000 kids 13 and under get an Andy Pafko mini figure, which is the 4th of 10 Cubs Retro Toy giveaways. Then after the game, the first 1,000 kids 13 and younger can run the bases. For more info or to purchase seats, go to Cubs.com. The 1-0 to Junior Lake, bounced foul. 34,697 on a beautiful night here at the ballpark.
Kind of night that makes you change your plans. Maybe you thought about taking in a movie, staying home watching a little television. You get a night like tonight, let's go to the ballpark.
Nationals shut out the Phillies tonight 7-0. Jordan Zimmerman got the win. And Ryan Zimmerman's return from the DL. Wheeler is wheeling and dealing tonight. He has 6 strikeouts and hasn't given up a run through 6. tabulations, but I don't think anyone has done the stretch more often than you have.
Maybe.
Which is good.
It's good if we've won when I've been here. I'm hoping.
Nice to see you back. How are you?
Great to be back. Thank you.
So do you know your winning percentage?
I don't, but I know you won last year and you won big last year.
Yeah.
So now I'm hoping you win, whether big or not. We hope we win again this year.
So we're celebrating a Wrigley Field's 100th birthday, and the first time you sang the stretch was about the millionth time you've been in the ballpark, we should say. 1998, that was the Kerry Wood game.
Right.
And you threw out the ceremonial first pitch, and you got an autograph from Woody?
Yes, I did. He got an autograph. He dated it, and then, of course,
when did he sign
was made.
it? Did he sign it after the game?
He signed it after the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after he strikes out 20, he signed your ball.
Yeah, because I thought to myself, this is important. I better get on this. Prior to that, it was like, well, okay, it's another day at the ballpark, but wow, it was really something.
It was Daniel Murphy. James Russell now pitching. And a foul back. So let's go back to your early days. You've talked about, okay, if you're a North Sider, you're a Cub fan. South Sider, you're a White Sox fan. But
Right.
that's you at, 9 years old?
That's, there I am.
West Side, it was usually what your parents...
It was jump ball.
Yeah.
Exactly. I remember my dear friend Ernie Majerus lived next door, and he was a huge White Sox fan. And that was just the way it was. If you grew up in the West Side, you went the way your either mom or dad or whoever it was. So, for me, it was the Cubs. Ernie, it was the White Sox. Ernie got a little more satisfaction over the years. But outside of that, I'm proud to be a Cub fan, and it's just been great. We're still in the best ballpark in baseball.
Speaking of Ernie, nice segue, as Rizzo will feed Russell. So Bleacher Bums, Ernie comes and sees it, right? And then you became Ernie Banks' friend?
What it was is, I had done the play Hair in 1969.
Oh, Hair,
that's
right?
what it was.
Okay, that's what it
was.
And
I used to wear, in the second act, I'd wear an Ernie Banks T-shirt, because in the play Hair, it was kind of free form. And he saw me in the T-shirt and sent a message backstage. I'd love to have him come as my guest. And so I did, and I came to the game the next day, and it was kind of weird. It was 1969, so I'm doing the play Hair. My hair's past my shoulders. I'm in the dugout. I remember Ron Santo was mentioning the guys on the radio. Ron Santo walked by me, and I looked at Ron. I said, "Hey, Ron, hit a home run today." And he looked at me and he says, "I'll do my best, son." And what was great is, as the years passed, Ron and I became dear friends, and I wound up even producing a film based on his life, This Old Cub, with his son Jeff. And so anyway, my love affair with this team has been well over 60 years now. And it's great. I mean, I feel very blessed to have been born in the city that has, the Chicago Cubs.
2-1 on David Wright. What a beautiful night.
Yeah, great night. And of course, I used to sit out there in the bleachers, and that's where the idea for the play Bleacher Bums came from, because I'd spend all those summers sitting out there wondering, these people seem to find great entertainment regardless of what was happening on the field, and so it was that whole thing of being a fan. I always thought being a Cub fan, that takes dedication. What makes us unique? And that was the crux of the play.
It's all about the journey, right?
All about the journey. Of course, my dear friend Lee Mazzilli is one of my dear friends, as you remember from the Mets. And Mazzilli, every year, he's been working with the Yankee organization for a while. Every year he always sends me the Yankee Christmas card. It always has something like 25 gold little symbols.
A little trophy.
And he'll always say on it, once again, a card you won't be getting from the Chicago Cubs. So I wait for that day when maybe we'll send him that card.
And you can send him a stack this high when it happens.
Yeah, that's right.
We actually have a good Lee Mazzilli story that I think, related when we were in New York. JD and I, it was a day-night doubleheader in April. And he was outside our booth, and a fly ball to right. And Lee Mazzilli said the following: he felt more pressure playing defense during a no-hitter than he did in the World Series, because he felt that obligation to the pitcher, like a perfect game. I don't want to make an error. I thought that was really interesting, that he felt more comfortable in a big game for his team as opposed to.
That is interesting. Well, I guess in a way, it's easier to disappoint maybe the team than the one guy who's.
Your teammates are everything, right?
Yeah, your teammates are everything, So Lee's a great guy, and When I met him first time, I was nervous because I always thought, is he going to remember that I'm the guy in center field bleachers that used to yell at him when he was with the Mets? Like scream at him.
Bum.
Nothing he hasn't heard.
Yeah, and I said that. I said, Lee, do you remember that I used to yell at you before I knew you? And he says, please. I got to Chicago, everybody yelled at me.
And Granderson trying to split the shift, and he does for a 2-out single. So it's been a good homecoming for Curtis. He's 3 for 3.
Yeah, 3 for 3 and a RBI. The one run in the ball game coming on his sac fly back in the first.
Well, I know you're here to talk Cubs, but before the stretch here, let's talk shop. Criminal Minds, a decade, right?
We're going into our 10th season. Yeah, it's been great.
Congratulations.
Really terrific. Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah, we feel, we love the show. I think it's we take it very seriously. We represent a real organization with the FBI, and luckily it's resonated actually all around the world. It's a very popular show all over the world.
And the voice of Fat Tony for the last 72 years on The Simpsons.
I've been doing that for 20, I think going on my 24th year now.
Man,
yeah.
unbelievable.
And I went in back in, it was 1991 I did my first one. And thinking it was just going to be a one-shot deal. And I actually based my character on my Uncle Willie. My dear Uncle Willie was 91. He just passed away in January. But, he actually talked like this. So when I came in, I said, well, I'll just talk like this and do this for my Uncle Willie. He'll get a kick out of it. Not knowing I would be doing it for a quarter of a century.
Well, even the best scripts in terms of television shows, you never assume anything, right?
Right, exactly right. No, you just go in, enjoy it, hope for the best. And, I'm blessed. Since I've been 16 years old, I wanted to be an actor, and I've been able to do it. And, not everybody can say that they follow their passion all their life. It'd be like wanting to be a baseball player and get to play for your entire life almost, Yep. It's been great.
One strike on Chris Young. 1-0 Mets. We're in the 7th. They've had their chances. The Cubs haven't had many themselves. Strike called 0-2.
Yeah, it's actors and golfers, right? They get to do it. You get to play golf forever.
Yeah. We don't have the Champions Tour and my acting thing, but I'm definitely in there if there was. But it's been great. It's been great.
It comes. Ooh, just missed. Well, you grew up going to day games, but there's something pretty special about this ballpark under the lights as well.
It is. It's such a beautiful, beautiful ballpark, and now the ivy's grown in, and nobody's wearing parkas as they were just a couple of weeks ago. So it's all good.
Fouled out of play. JD had his winter cap on just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but got a lot of wear out of that this year.
Yeah, I bet.
Somebody flipped the switch.
Yeah, that's the thing.
We skip spring here, right?
Yeah, that's the way Chicago Springs usually lasts like about 4 hours. It goes right from winter to summer.
Neil Ramirez up in the home bullpen. And another foul by Young. Good battle here.
So you get the restaurant in L.A.?
Yep, we still are in Burbank, California. So we have a restaurant called Taste Chicago. And it's almost like being here because you get your Italian beef, your Polish, your deep dish, your Vienna dogs. So we get a lot of, as you can imagine, a lot of Chicagoans come there. So it's a lot of fun, especially on Fridays. On Friday afternoons, you get all these expatriates who come.
All right, Joe, time to sing. 1-0 Mets.
Tonight's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, actor and Chicago native Joe Mantegna.
All right, Cub fans, let me hear ya. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever come back, and it's root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old Cub game. Come on, Cubbies, let's go get 'em!
Dugouts of Wrigley Field during Catch in the Confines, presented by Advocate Children's Hospital. Tickets include a personalized photograph, a baseball, you can't play catch without a baseball, and a Wrigley Field 100 DVD. All proceeds benefit Cubs charities. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit cubscharities.org.
Home run swing. Rizzo thinking, I'm going to tie the game here, and he missed it. The wind has shut down, at least for the moment. 1-0 Mets, bottom of the 7th. Great job by Joe Montana getting this crowd revved up.
Got a little extra Chicago going too when he sang the song. Well, here's Anthony Rizzo's night. First time up, he gets caught looking at a fastball, two-seamer that runs back to the inside corner. His next at bat in the 4th, he's looking for that pitch, doesn't get it, comes up empty. Good execution by Wheeler. Game calling by Darno. Chance for redemption now for Rizzo. Wheeler's fastball is hitting comfortably 94 to 96 miles an hour all night long.
Jeuris Familia. There's the right-hander out there. Josh Edgin, the lefty. 3-1. Haven't had a lot of those counts tonight.
One swing and we're tied.
Here comes out front off the end of the bat.
Yeah, threw him a changeup.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Frustrating night for Rizzo. And again, Wheeler continues to strike out one batter literally per inning.
And again, I think Anthony thought they were going to come back inside again, because you see the same movement from that front side. You see the hip flare open. You're looking to be able to turn on an inside fastball.
Bounced foul. I guess if you're Sandy Alderson and the Mets brass, this is the kind of night you've been thinking about with Zach Wheeler.
Yeah, and what you're hoping for is consistency, and they're starting to see it from him. Last time out, he was really good. He struck out 9, didn't walk anybody against the Phillies in a 4-1 win. He worked 6 in the 3rd, allowed just 1 run. Some of his earlier starts, walks really a problem, but he started to, well, at least Last couple of times out, he's really smoothed that out. And, you know, when you look at his stuff, you know, he can afford to walk some people. You know, he's ultimately going to be a high strikeout guy. You can live with some walks when you have this kind of an arm.
Ground ball to the shortstop, Flores. He'll scoop and throw in time. Wheeler 1 out away from completing 7 innings for the 4th time in his 29 major league starts. Valbuena 0 for 2. Wheeler passing 100 pitches. In between there, 0 and 2. If it gets to a closing situation, Henry Mejia is a man. He started the year in their rotation. They've got a revolving door in the 9th inning. Mentioned Bobby Parnell had Tommy John surgery. He pitched on opening day, and that'll be it for this year. A couple of veterans not even on their roster anymore. Jose Valverde and former Cub Kyle Farnsworth. Carlos Torres has 2 saves. Familia has 1. Daisuke has 1.
If they wanted to, they wouldn't have to settle on a closer. They could use multiple options, give them all some experience trying to protect leads in the 8th and 9th inning. Familia might have the best stuff.
And maybe the best name. Jeuris Familia. Well, Louis has run it full, 3 and 2 after an 0-2 start. Robert Haddon is watching the game in Japan. Said it's Wednesday morning there, but he promises not to tell us how the game ends.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate
get the box score. Let us know how it ends up.
Ball 4. That will end the night of Zach Wheeler. Sherholt's due up, and Terry Collins wants a left-hander.
Part game situation, part probably protecting Wheeler a little bit. Been so good tonight.
Here comes Josh Edgin when we return.
Well, Josh has pitched 9 times for the Mets this year. He's 1-0 with a .59 ERA. Batting average against is quite low, 105. Lefties just 0.67. Just 5 2/3 innings here at the big league level. 3-0 with a couple of saves, and ERA just below 5 down at AAA for the Las Vegas 51s. But this way, Wheeler out of the game. He can win it. He cannot lose it. Sure holds 2 hits off Wheeler tonight, so they'll bring the lefty in. Edgen relies heavily on his slider. Fastball 90 to 93 miles an hour, but he throws a lot of sliders. There's one there.
Edgen born in South Carolina, went to high school in Pennsylvania, and then attended The Ohio State University and Francis Marion University as well. 30th round pick, 2010.
The Swamp Fox.
Francis Marion?
Yeah, not Edgen. Francis Marion.
Interesting, different sources have different birthplaces. The media guide has him born in Pennsylvania, now lives in South Carolina. At any rate, he's lived in both places.
Maybe it was a long birth. The other thing bringing a lefty in does, it just tightens up the base runner there at first base a little bit.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. So the move pays off for Terry Collins as Edgen strikes out Sherholtz. Still 1-zip Mets.
The north side, it's Cubs Mets Thursday at 6 on Comcast Sportsnet. Travis Wood, Jacob deGrom, the pitchers for that one.
In celebration of Wrigley Field's 100th birthday season, the Cubs and MasterCard have partnered to offer a limited number of MasterCard Century seats for every game during the 2014 regular season. Fans can use their MasterCard to purchase Upper Decks box tickets for 1914. For more info or to make your purchase, go to Cubs.com/Century Seats.
Three here with the Mets, and then 3-game set with the Marlins before heading out on another long road trip. So it sure would be nice to get this homestand off to a good start. Job number 1, close to 0 here in the 8th.
One ball, one strike to Duda. Vic Black, right-hander, is up. Final in Cleveland, 5-3 Indians over the Red Sox. Uncle Bourne with a big 2-run double in the 7th. Tribe has won 5 in a row. So the Red Sox lost 10 in a row, won 7 in a row, now have lost their last 2.
Bourne was a hero for the Indians the other day, a walk-off home run.
Yeah.
Doesn't hit many of those. Duda has power, but it is greatly diminished against left-handed pitching. He does not have an extra base hit this year against southpaws. Batting .200, 5 out of 25 against left-handed pitching. All 8 of his home runs have come against righties.
So the Blue Jays and Tigers were scoreless going to the 9th inning in Detroit. And the final was 5-3 Toronto. They scored 5 in the top of the 9th. The Tigers got 3 in the bottom. Two and two.
A wild finish.
Joe Nathan took it on the chin. His ERA up to 6.86. He was charged with 4 runs out of the 5 and took the loss. Hit hard on a bounce, but Bonifacio will get Duda. That is a long ground out.
The Rover got him. He was playing way back there to begin with and still had to retreat.
That'll be it for the left-hander. Neil Ramirez summoned in a 1-0 game in the 8th. has been superb.
Boy, indeed he has. Check out those strikeout numbers. 19 punch-outs in 11 2/3 innings of work. He's allowed but 6 hits, 4 walks. All adds up to an ERA of 0.77. Schlitter and Russell before him very good tonight. And now Ramirez gets his turn to hold the Mets down.
Mets got their run in the very first inning on a sacrifice fly from Curtis Granderson. That has been it.
Dendecker, the leadoff man who scored the run, got to third base on a wild pitch.
Called strike 3 to end the at bat.
Now this is just a little cheese at the knees right there. 94 miles an hour, knee high, right out towards that outside corner.
Former Met John Buck with a game-winning 2-run homer for the Mariners as they beat the Braves 7-5. Their 4th in a row. Buck had 3 hits. Darno pops foul territory. Who wants it? Rizzo overran it.
Well, he did the right thing in taking charge on the play. Unfortunately, he whiffed on it. He'd be charged with an error. He had a long way to go, but you'd prefer to have your first baseman handle that ball than the catcher. So, you know, he does the right thing, chasing Baker off. He just came a little too far, a little too fast.
Reds have won 4 straight, 8-3 over the Giants in Cincinnati. Giants committed 4 errors.
Bailey beat Lincecum. Giants played a little sloppy against the Cubs when we were out there.
Royals over the Cardinals 8-7.
Would not be surprised to find out that the Giants make more errors in Lincecum games than any other starter that they have, just because of the nature of the way he pitches. All the deep counts,
right.
all the, long at bats. Not excusing it, but just the nature of it. Players play more sharply behind a guy who's working quickly and throwing strikes.
Cardinals went 2-7 on a 9-game homestand. Another ball in the air. And it'll be Junior Lake to end the inning. It's getting late. Bottom of the 8th. The Cubs trail the Mets 1-0. And photo of the game. You can tweet your photo to hashtag NorthsideFanPhoto for a chance to have it appear in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Edgin's still in there with all these lefties. Coghlan and Baker ahead of a pinch hitter.
A hard throwing right-handers getting ready in the Cub bullpen.
Rondon just back after the birth of his first child, son named Ian, and Strope recently back from the DL. Two and two.
Cubs have not had a man reach scoring position yet tonight.
Fly ball pretty well hit. Deep left center. Still back. It is gone. Chris Coghlan. And it's 1-1. His first as a Cub, and it ties the ball game.
With a slider that's up in the zone, the Ford home run replay shows Chris Coghlan dumping one into the bleachers in left center for his first Cub home run, and what a big one.
Well, that is good to see. The Cubs have not gotten a lot of home run production from their outfield. For Coghlan, it's the 22nd of his major league career and his first as a member of the Chicago Cubs. And a 1-1 tie.
How about that? The big strike. The Mets had all those chances. They were in the red zone all night long. Coghlan just threw a bomb.
Got to be thinking, are we going to go 14 again? As Baker strikes out. Ruggiano will be announced, and Collins will, I would think, make a move. Well, Edgin struck out 2 of the 3 batters he faced, but the third one hit a home run. Vic Black. to work against pinch hitter Justin Ruggiano.
A handful of appearances in the big leagues for the Mets this year, 4 games. Won with a 145 in 17 appearances at AAA. But he was wild there, boy. 18 2/3 innings. He walked 17.
And a swing and a miss by Ruggiano.
Mid-90s fastball and a curveball for Black. High walk rates have plagued him throughout his minor league career.
This is his 5th appearance in about a week. Season debut was last Tuesday, and he got the win. He has been a busy guy here with all their extra inning affairs. I'd say, well, let's see. That's what he wanted. Okay. Because I saw Darno tap his glove on the ground, but I think that was for Ruggiano to see, or feel, or hear. And they went with a fastball up.
A little gamesmanship.
Yep. Usually that's for a breaking ball. Like that. Two down.
Black starting to walk off the field as if there were 3. No, just 2. No doubt about it, he went around. So clearly Black with really good stuff. If he can harness it, he may be able to stick around the big leagues for a while. No relation to Padre manager Bud Black, because Buddy was left-handed and a finesse pitcher.
So they can't be related.
Can't be related.
Black is from Amarillo, Texas, the Dallas Baptist University. Line drive will drop. Bonifacio on for the 2nd time tonight. He's getting instructions from Eric Hinsky in terms of the move of this right-hander, Vic Black. Leadoff home run from Chris Coughlin off the left-hander Edgin to tie the game. And it looks like the 9th will be Hector Rondon's, even if we're tied.
Mets playing no doubles, extremely deep in the outfield.
Little delayed steal, and the ball got away anyway. Bonifacio with a couple of shuffle steps, and he will be credited with a steal.
This is what I'm talking about earlier when we got into that conversation about runners in scoring position and how meaningful the statistics are, and what hitting coaches look for is the at-bat. a mature approach in a critical situation, and this is exactly what we've got. Tie game, bottom of the 8th, potential winning run out there in scoring position for Junior Lake. Slow down the heart rate.
Breaker is a strike. It's 1-1.
Couple deep breaths. Just stay within your game plan. Good swing.
Yep.
But now we're at that count again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The odds shift greatly to the pitcher, and this is where we haven't seen from Junior a real willingness to change his approach, to shorten up his stroke a little bit.
He held. Ball made by Todd Titchener at first.
Buys him another pitch, the ability to lay off there. Darno wants to talk it over with Black.
A home run by Coghlan helps the Cubs avoid being swept, or shut out rather, for the 9th time this season, and more importantly ties the ball game. It has been tough sledding offensively here, especially lately. The Cubs have been involved in a lot of blowouts. This feels more like most of the first 2 months. A lot of nail biters. Three and two with Rizzo on deck.
Nothing wrong with drawing a walk here, Junior. Turning it over to Rizzo. Lefty up in the Mets pen.
Scott Rice.
Sinker baller.
And he got him. Bottom fell out of it. Black with 2 strikeouts. But Chris Coghlan connects for the first time this season, and it's a game tire. 1-1 after 8.
from paternity leave. He and his wife welcomed in a baby boy on Saturday named Ian, and I had a chance to ask Hector today, and he said, you know, for my girl, who is now 2, I actually didn't get to be in the room for her delivery, but this time I was able to be there and actually help deliver baby Ian, and he said it was a very emotional moment, something that kind of puts everything else in perspective, guys.
Well, I don't know if he's gotten much sleep, but he's back. And that's always actually a good feeling when you welcome a new member into your family. And
absolutely. High times for him. New baby, taking over the closer's role. He's done a very nice job.
And he's facing Bobby Abreu. Yep, that Bobby Abreu. Yep. Pinch hitting here in the ninth.
Yeah, he's done a nice job with the Mets this year. He's had a heck of a career.
He turned 40 in March.
Strike zone judgment about as good as anybody that's been around the last 15 years or so.
Started his career with the Astros in 1996. This is his 18th season. And look at what he's done at Wrigley Field. He is closing in on 10,000 career plate appearances.
A great guy to come off the bench because of his ability to hit for extra bases, but also to work a walk.
Recently stole his 400th base. About that group. Barry and Bobby Bonds on that list. 3-1. So let's go with the Phillies 1999 to 2006. When we split the year between Philly and the Yankees. Walk totals 109, 100, 106, 104, 109, 127, 117, 124. Did not play last year. And he was an everyday guy. He was very durable. And a ground ball up the middle. Castro will field behind second. He's got time, and he gets him.
Abreu used to be able to run a little bit, but not so much anymore. Nice play by Castro. Second really good play by Starlin tonight. Keeping that leadoff man off base. Cheating that way for sure, but still a pretty play. One of the writers at Baseball Prospectus had the quote a while back, and I forget who it was, when Abreu hit his first home run for the Mets, that Bobby Abreu will be able to tell his grandkids about his first home run as a Met when they get home from school today.
The 1-0 fouled back. Well, you think the Mets are regretting not scoring at least one, if not a bunch, in that third inning.
Wow, that's you know the mentality of sports, right? When you don't score and you see those opportunities go by the board, you just have that creeping feeling that it's going to come back to bite you.
From the wind, the 2-1. I guess it missed. 3-1. Henry Mejia along with Scott Rice, and a base hit to left. Murphy 1 for 4. Ball got out of the Mets bullpen. Slight delay. Jose Abreu came off the DL last night and homered for the White Sox. He's homered again tonight. He's got 17. And the Sox lead the Dodgers 3-1 in the 4th. He's pretty good.
Yeah. Seems to have figured out some things.
In the 9th inning in Milwaukee, the Twins lead the Brewers 6-3. Willingham and Dozier have homered for the Twins.
Murphy, a very good fastball hitter.
Double play ball. The flip. The turn. 4-6-3. Bonifacio and Castro teaming up. Rondon does his job. The Cubs will try to win it when we come back. Set in Los Angeles. White Sox and Dodgers tomorrow night, 8:30 for the pregame coverage. Hawk and Stoney have the call of all the action only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Follow the Cubs with MLB.com at bat for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry 10, and Windows Phone 8. Get score, stats, highlights, live audio, and more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit Cubs.com for details.
Well, it'd be nice to see the Cubs have a good homestand here. They've got another 10-game road trip starting next Monday in Pittsburgh. A lot of traveling here over about a month period. 20 out of 26 on the road, and a chance to win the first game of this homestand. A tie game. Scott Rice facing Anthony Rizzo.
Rice 1-1 with the 497, and talk about traffic. A lot of base runners allowed by Rice. Limited innings, 12 2/3, 12 hits, 11 walks. Typically comes in for a left-handed batter or two at a time. He worked 4 times, 4 days in a row in that Phillies series. A third of an inning in each outing.
He made his major league debut last year after 14 seasons in the minors. So I guess making up for lost time. He's just going to pitch every day the rest of his life.
Pitch me till my arm falls off. I'm good. I'm in the big leagues. Extreme ground ball pitcher.
One strike on Rizzo. And a ground ball foul. 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts for Rizzo.
Immediately down 2 strikes.
And a base hit, and the winning run is on base with nobody out. He's been so good against lefties.
Good start to the bottom of the 9th, and we talk a lot about making an adjustment. Look, a little choke up on the bat. Minimizes the movement, the lower body, gets that front foot down early. He's just trying to hit a line drive somewhere. A slugger who can win the game for you, for sure, but once he's down in the count, 2 strikes, the approach changes. That's good hitting.
Now Castro, 0 for 3, and Rizzo took 1 step towards second and then went back to first, trying to read that move by Rice. 1-0. Give Starlin a lot of room on the right side. 2-0.
Yeah, and unconventional, but this is a situation where you might be tempted to start a base runner because of the high ground ball tendencies for Rice. You know, you just can't afford to get doubled up here. Castro, a great contact guy. Rice doesn't throw it by many people. The downside is you would force Castro to swing at a ball possibly out of the zone. 2-0 with a guy with a little power, you'd rather him be, you know, go ahead and just take a good rip at something you like. 2-1 is more of a hit and run count.
Familia up yet again, in case we get
starting Rizzo here
in the order. Yep,
would be a high risk play and unlikely to happen, but there's a case to be made for it.
Leg kick and the 2-1, swing and a miss. Now after Castro, you have Valbuena, Scherholtz, Coghlan, Baker. Lefty, 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 lefty. So that's why Terry Collins did not go to a right-hander to face Castro.
He's got his righty up there perhaps for Mike Holt if Mike Holt were to grab the bat at some point in this inning, but tie game, you got to be careful how you use your resources. Both teams with short benches, each team only carrying 4 extra position players, and the Mets bullpen has got to be gassed.
Okay, now do you send him 3-2 with nobody out?
You know, the swing and miss at that one sinker scares me a little bit. I mean, I think it's a defensible play if you start him here.
He's not running, in a ground ball to third. Bobbled by right. Throw to first. Out there. Starlin, for some reason, was turning his head and watching the play. Maybe thinking they were going to throw to second. So Wright gets an out. He wanted to get Rizzo at second. The winning run's now in scoring position. Not sure what happened here.
Yeah, he's looking. He's thinking there's going to be a throw made to second base. You just got to put your head down and run through the bag. I don't know how much it cost him, but it looked like he broke stride a little bit.
Saw Scherholtz slow down on a caught stealing earlier in the ballgame. So here's Valbuena, runner at second, 1 away. Pitch. Called strike. By the way, the Mets outfield leads the majors with 16 assists. Juan Lagares is on the disabled list. Den Decker threw out a runner last night in Philadelphia. 0-2 on Valbuena. He was also 0-2 in the 7th inning and was able to work a walk. Here it comes. Fouled that one off his foot. Second time he's done that tonight.
I'm trying to remember the last time the Cubs did the bone pile thing in the middle of the field after a game-winning hit.
Swing and a miss on a breaker. And now 2 down. It's up to Scherholz.
Hard slider moving down and out of the strike zone to punch out Valbuena, who doesn't chase many bad ones. Good pitch there by Rice.
Well, you brought it up earlier. You've got Whiteside, who you don't want to use, backup catcher. Would be the last pinch hitter in terms of position players you would use anyway. Mike Olt, the other possibility, but there's no way he would get Rice. So,
right, you
Ricky Renteria, it's either
advantage.
Olt against, I think it's Familia's up, or the lefties against Rice. Probably better off saving that bullet in a tie game, as you said. Cubs continue to go with an extra man in the bullpen as they get younger out there. You missed it earlier. Jose Veras designated for assignment today. Winning run at second. 2 outs. The pitch. Into the corner. Cubs are going to win it as Rizzo will score. Nate Scherholz with the game-ending single. 2-1 the final.
Wow, how about that win? There's the bone pile. The Mets, with all the chances early, and Jake Arrieta able to tiptoe out of trouble time and time again, buying his guys time. Coghlan delivers the game-tying home run. Scherholz wins it here in the bottom of the 9th. With what, just the second at-bat the Cubs had all night long with a man in scoring position.
And how about the 2 hits? Lefties versus the lefty.
No balls and 2 strikes. It's kind of unlikely.
And Hector Rondon will get a win, back off the paternity list. I guess that wins for little Ian. The GMC player of the game, Nate Scherholz, as the Cubs walk off a winner. And let's go down to the field. Kelly Crow.
Well, Nate, walk me through that last at bat. 0-2 in the count. What'd you see?
Yeah, he pitched me backwards compared to Valbuena. So I was just trying to put the ball in play hard somewhere, and luckily I got the right pitch to do it.
How good did that dog pile feel there in the middle of the field?
Pretty good. It's been a little while since I've done that, so it was nice. It was a good comeback victory for us.
Speaking of that, describe what Wheeler was doing earlier to kind of keep you guys off base and everything. But you were able to fight back there against their pen.
He just mixed up his pitches. You know, we didn't put very many good swings on the ball early, but then Coughlin had that big hit.